Hello friends, good evening, greetings to all of you. I hope you all are basically excelling in your respective lives with full valor as our motherland India is also excelling in all the possible facets with full enthusiasm. Dear friends, today we are basically going to discuss the golden news highlight representing the three very important and very significant topics. That is, the Finance Minister of India, Dr. Nirmala Sitharaman, among five other Indians, make it to the Eureka Forbes list representing the world's 100 most powerful women and the most influential women. The Finance Minister, Dr. Nirmala Sitharaman, Biocon Executive Chairperson, Ms. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, and Nykaa founder, Ms. Falguni Nair, are among the 6 Indians who have made it to the Eureka Forbes annual list of the world's 100 most powerful and influential women. Ranked at number 36, Dr. Sitharaman has made it to the list for the 4th time in a row. In 2021, the 63-year-old minister was ranked at number 37 in the list. So there is an upgradation in this ranking aspect. So this is really a great moment of pride considering the overall geopolitical crisis and the overall global turmoil which is going on across the world. Still, Indian representative of the finance ministry has raised her standards across the globe. While she was in the 41st spot in 2020 and 34th in 2019. The other Indians to feature on the list are HCL Tech Chairperson Ms. Roshni Nadar Malhotra, who is ranked 53. Securities and Exchange Board of India, that is SEBI Chairperson Ms. Madhavi Puri Book, ranked 54, and Steel Authority of India Chairperson Ms. Soma Mondal, ranked at 67. Ms. Malhotra, Ms. Mazumdar-Shaw, and Ms. Nair made it to the prestigious list last year also at 52nd, 72nd, 88 spots respectively. This year, Ms. Mazumdar-Shaw is ranked 77, while Ms. Nair is at 89th spot according to the list released by Eureka Forbes on 6 December 2022. So I would like to summarize the ranks of India's 6 women who have been accounted for the Forbes list of the world's 100 most powerful and influential women. Dr. Nirmala Sitharaman, who is the Finance Minister of India, is ranked at 36th number. Then Ms. Roshni Nadar Malhotra, Chairperson of HCL Tech, is ranked at 53. Ms. Madhavi Puri Book, the Chairperson of SEBI Company, is ranked at number 54. Ms. Soma Mondal, who is the Chairperson of Steel Authority of India Limited, is ranked at number 67. Ms. Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, the Executive Chairperson of Biocon, is ranked at number 77, and Ms. Falguni Nair, who is representing the Nykaa organization, being its founder, is ranked at number 89. So it is such a great moment of pride to read this news information where we see that 6 women are from India itself when we consider the world's 100 most powerful and influential women. It's really a great moment of pride, dear friends. I know that you would be also thrilled. You would also be feeling thrilled after listening to this news. Next, I would like to discuss India's role in finding the common ground among the G20 members, and it is being appreciated worldwide as quoted by our External Affairs Minister. India's contribution to finding the common ground among the members of the G20 in a polarized environment has been widely appreciated. External Affairs Minister Mr. S. Jaishankar said on 7 December 2022, referring to the statement on the Ukraine conflict that reflected PM Modi's "not an era of war" sentiment. So speaking in the parliament on the first day of the winter session, the minister said India's G20 presidency is basically an opportunity to showcase the country to the world, and this will be done through cultural activities, regional festivals, technology programs, and several other initiatives. On the Ukraine crisis, the minister said India's advocacy for dialogue and diplomacy has been consistent and persistent, and has found a larger resonance by being broadly appreciated by the international community. During the G20 Bali summit held under Indonesia's presidency, India extended fullest support to ensure its success. Our contribution to finding a common ground among the members in a polarized environment was widely appreciated, said Mr. S. Jaishankar. The minister said India will organize nearly 200 meetings in different sectors at multiple locations this year, and the G20 summit next year will actually be one of the highest profile international gatherings to be hosted by this country. India will champion the causes of the global south during the presidency, he said. The G20 is taking place in the larger context of a geopolitical crisis, food and energy insecurity, slow progress on sustainable development goals, mounting burden of debt, and challenges to the climate action and climate justice. So our endeavor is to basically build consensus within the G20, champion the causes, especially of the global south, and shape the overall setting of the agenda, said Mr. S. Jaishankar. Now, we are basically developing the overall perspective of the Indian economy to strategize its goals for the G20 summit to be held next year. This is really a great endeavor we as a country have taken. And we are putting our best efforts, and so we are also being appreciated at an international level for our excellent efforts being put in for this particular initiative, wherein we are basically trying to develop the holistic view and trying to address all the topics of great strategic concern for the entire globe. Third topic of consideration in our present session would be the digital money, that is the CBDC, which was introduced on 1st December, how it will be as anonymous as the banknotes. We will also consider the basic mechanism of the functioning for CBDC and UPI. That is, what is the difference between the basic mechanism of UPI and CBDC? Hence clearing all the ambiguity existing in the people's minds for these particular aspects. Thirdly, we are going to consider the various modes of payment existing in our country, and how is CBDC going to be a very relevant mode of payment, which is the emerging segment of digitization. So here it goes. The central bank digital currency will actually be as anonymous as the paper notes, and all the relevant laws applicable to the traditional cash will also apply to the new age money now being trialed. The Reserve Bank of India said on Wednesday, that is 7th December 2022. The amendment to the Reserve Bank of India Act with regard to the CBDC says that the currency will also include the digital currency, said RBI Governor Mr. Shaktikant Das while interacting with reporters after the monetary policy announcement. So in all respects, there is actually no difference in the eyes of law. There is no difference in treatment between the paper currency and the digital currency. The income tax department has also got certain limits on cash payments and withdrawals. The same rules will actually apply to CBDC as well. Deputy Governor Mr. T. Ravi Shankar said that the regulator is basically looking at a technology solution to offer anonymity. The fundamental feature of cash is anonymity. The reason it's still being used in several developed countries is actually because people love their privacy. Mr. Shankar said, the normal understanding is that anything digital leaves a deep footprint, can have various solutions. We can look at largely a technology solution. We understand it's actually possibly the best solution to incorporate. It's also possible to get a legal provision to ensure anonymity. What exactly will happen will depend upon how things evolve. Mr. Shankar also said that the evolution of the CBDC will depend on how much the startup and fintech ecosystem innovates and the kind of channels it opens up using e-rupee as the base. We will set up the base system so that the private sector can innovate, he added. Economic Times had recently reported that the central bank has asked the lenders not to report the low-value transactions made via the digital rupee, seeking to ensure its proposed virtual currency offers a similar degree of anonymity associated with paper money for business exchanges below a material value threshold. Once the CBDCR, that is the central bank-backed digital currency retail, is transferred to the customer wallets, banks will not track or report these transactions. The central bank has announced the launch of the retail version of the digital rupee on December 1, as I began this session with. In the first phase, the State Bank of India, that is the SBI, ICICI Bank, Yes Bank and IDFC First Bank will carry out the implementation in 4 cities basically, that is Mumbai, New Delhi, Bangalore and Bhubaneswar. Mr. Das also tried to answer the questions about the comparisons done between the UPI and the CBDC platforms. Mr. Das said it was actually incorrect to compare both, as one is a payment platform while another is a digital currency. Several questions have been raised on what is the difference between the UPI and CBDC, he said. Any UPI transaction, here I would like to remind that UPI stands for Unified Payment Interface. So any UPI transaction involves the disintermediation of the bank. When I use my UPI app, the message goes to the bank, the account gets debited and the money gets transferred to the recipient. Just like the paper currency, if you are drawing 1000 rupees from your bank, you shop for 500 rupees and keep the remaining in your wallet. So in CBDC as well, you are drawing the money and keeping it in your wallet, which is basically your mobile phone. When you make a payment to a shop or a person, money will move from your wallet to his wallet. There is no intermediation of the bank. So on this note, my dear friends, I hope the basic concept of CBDC would have got cleared in all of your minds. So I really hope that today's session would help you to gather great insights, in terms of enhancing the overall knowledge base of the Indian economy as a whole and how we are prospering gradually in this entire situation of extremely turbulent global economic environment. We are putting in our best efforts as being guided by our respectable leaders and dignitaries. So on this note, I would like to end today's session. Namaskar. Jai Hind.